We do not focus on technological specs. We focus on bringing you quality gameplay experience. Something to that nature is what the big N always says. And I wonder, when have we gotten that quality gameplay lately? I mean, seriously, if you want to call playing the 900th rendition of Mario quality gameplay, go ahead, knock yourself out, be my guest. But the underlying issue is here. Why is Nintendo the only ones that get like a hall pass on power? Okay, I know people are just ready to roast, oh, the Xbox One games don't look as good as the PS4 games, but then the Nintendo Switch is gonna be underpowered. Oh, but Nintendo is not about power. Okay, like, that makes no fucking sense to me. I really don't understand how people are that, they have that much hypocrisy when it comes to the systems. I don't care what people think. We don't focus on technological specs, my ass. Let's do a history recount, okay? Remember the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES? Now you're playing with power and stuff, and how that has been a moniker for such a long time. But somewhere along the line, when they started getting their asses roasted by this, the upcoming Sony PlayStation, which was originally supposed to have been the next Nintendo console, but because Nintendo couldn't come to a deal with Sony took that technology and made it into a PlayStation and of their own, and look where PlayStation is at now. Okay, and Nintendo kind of screwed the pooch with that one. And then they came out with the, what we called at the time, the Ultra 64, and that turned out to be the not so Ultra 64. Yeah, the Nintendo 64 has a cult following. It sold well, but it was very limited by what it can do. It was supposed to be a 64-bit system, but the games were pretty much 32-bit games, and it had compressed sound. Cartridge was a bad idea, and a CD, and Sony saw that. I think that's probably what broke them up right there. Like, basically, that was the future, but something Nintendo was like, no, I don't think so. We can't come to a deal with making CD-based games. This is not us. We're a cartridge-based company. I don't know the facts of that. I'm just saying something stupid like that. And now look, we got PlayStation. Some out of a mistake like that, we ended up with PlayStation and stuff. And then remember when Sony PlayStation came out, and then it was the Sega Saturn. People still made comparisons. Well, the graphics don't look that great on Saturn. The Saturn is a 2D machine at its core, and it doesn't have the 3D processors like Saturn do. So you end up having a Saturn which was kicking ass when it came to doing like 2D Street Fighter games and things like that, and RPGs. But then when it comes to the 3D processing, we had Sony PlayStation, which was better at that. And then we had the Nintendo 64, which started selling very well though because of it being Nintendo. But 64, it was trying to be the strongest out there in the market. Why would they purposely put out a 64-bit system to compete with a known 32-bit system with the PlayStation? So somewhere down the line, all right, next system comes out. And what do we get? We get the Nintendo GameCube, which is a 128-bit system, okay, and stuff. And what was out at the time? Yes, the PlayStation 2, which is an 128-bit system. Then we have the Microsoft Xbox original, which was a higher end 128-bit system, okay. So it was competing. It was trying to compete with Microsoft and Sony. But Their biggest mistakes is that precious GameCube, which I have here in front of me, you can't see, chose to go with this format, not DVD, which once again hindered them and limited what they can do with the system. Big mistake there. Okay, but great system. I love my GameCube. I'm playing Sonic Mega Collection. I'm streaming it online on Facebook. I love the GameCube. Right? Soul Calibur 2, Link, a couple of things. Like, it has some good third-party games. All right, but now look at this. We got next system out. It gets a little bit more powerful. It's a little bit more powerful than a GameCube, and we get the Wii, and you end up pretty much repackaging the GameCube into a system with motion controllers. Why do you think the original Wii was able to play on GameCube games? Because at its core, it virtually was a more souped up version of GameCube with motion controllers in it. Okay, it had the 4 player ports. This was right there. They would try to repackage the GameCube and turn it, and this is where the gimmick started. And this is where they started talking about it's not about power. We're not putting out the system there, because they try to compete with the power game and they failed miserably with that. So now it's not a power with them. This hall pass of power, this invisible hall pass of power, is Nintendo's doing. They have brainwashed their loyal fans into saying that's not the case. So everybody's saying it, from Review Tech USA to Young Ye to all these other people. It's not about power. Right. Sure it isn't. It never was with them, was it? Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. You know, I for one can tell you right now, because I'm playing the old games and stuff, the gameplay is there and stuff. You know, it's not about power supposedly, but today's technology advances, so it is about power. If it wasn't really about power, the Sega Genesis and the NES would still be the core consoles that we'd be playing now, and we wouldn't have a PlayStation 4. Hell, PlayStation wouldn't existed at all, would it? Right? It's always been an arms race when it comes to console sales and even the PC. All right, you know, there's games that keep coming out that are more powerful for a computer to run. So what you got to do, upgrade your computer for that. All right, console and stuff. Put out a Nintendo put out a 8-bit. Sega put out an 8-bit. Okay, Nintendo won that 8-bit war. They put out a Sega Genesis. Okay, Super Nintendo won that one. But because Sega got too gimmicky and tried to do a Sega 32X, the Sega CD, which Sega CD don't really, you know, that was his own console basically. It was his own little side thing. Sega CD games run in there and stuff, but people weren't ready to play the CD games, even though the sound it had superior sound. And yeah, it had very superior sound. That's what that brought to the game. Okay, so Sega Genesis lost that battle. Nintendo once again won that one right there. And then what happened after that? After that console, here we come, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and then Sega Dreamcast. Okay, and then what happens after that? Oh, okay, that's right. PlayStation 2 and stuff. PlayStation 2, and then what's the other system came out? Nintendo's next system, GameCube. All right, so it's always been a arms race. It's always been a quest for the power of, all right, this system's gonna have the power. This system's gonna be more stronger. Next generation evolves and evolves and evolves with time. If it wasn't about power, okay, these systems would stay at a base set of power and never have evolved over the 30 something years. So these guys, like I said, get a whole pass on power because they say it's not their thing. They lost that battle, so now they want you to accept the fact that they lost that battle by telling you that it's not about power, when in actuality they just lost that race and now they pretty much conceded. So what they're gonna do, like I said in my Go Home Nintendo You're Drunk video, they're gonna sell you a gimmick. Alright? And I'm tired. Me for one, this whole pattern, I'm tired of the gimmicks, alright? I'm really tired of the gimmicks. I'm not tired of Nintendo, I'm just tired of how they get down on business and stuff. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, the video got it's getting a good response. People actually feel where I'm coming from on this one, alright? And I know a lot of people are not gonna agree with me, and really I don't care, but I have to put my opinion out there on this one. They get a whole pass on power because they constantly put that into their biggest fans' heads, and now that's the norm. Not for me. Fuck that. As much as I love Nintendo, it ain't working on me here. It's not. Alright? Next time around, maybe by the year 2025, you will maybe build a regular console, and by that time it will probably be as powerful as the Xbox One, because you like to stay behind and buy cheaper technology so you can mass produce outdated technology because it's cheaper to buy in bulk. Alright, like I said before, but that's another story here. This whole pass on power thing has worn its welcome. A lot of people could say, fine, it's not, I don't see that, you don't know what you're talking about because I'm a Fury, whatever, blah blah blah, you this, you just this. But you know, somebody actually, he got benched for this on my thing. You can say whatever you want, you can disagree with my opinions, but when you start calling people homos and fags and stuff like that because you can't respect nobody else's opinion, go fuck yourself and go comment someplace else. Alright? But anyway, that's all I gotta say on it. This whole thing about this whole pass on power, it don't work on me. I see right through it. Okay? But let me know how you feel about it in the comments and stuff. And I answer the people who leave comments for me and stuff and things like that. I like to keep it interactive. I don't like you to be like, all right, nobody's gonna respond to that, because I'm not a celebrity. So of course I got time to respond to these things. I work. I work a regular 9-to-5 job and everything. But I have this YouTube channel because I like to rant and talk about things just like anybody else. So what I'm telling you is my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact. The fact that I got to do this disclaimer, it goes to show how society is today. Everybody don't respect nobody else's opinion. You can respectfully disagree. You can tell me differently in the comments if you would like to. But I know everybody doesn't agree with one another. That's just human nature. So I'm going to end it like this, as usual. Keep watching what you want. Keep gaming the way you want. Keep being you. Because I'm a Fury. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Peace out once again. And have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever. Peace.